So our final speaker of this morning's session is James Hannan. James is chairman of the North Essex Astronomical Society, our host for today. Thank you very much. James has a BSc in astrophysics and he's currently head of science here at Chelmsford High School. He's heavily involved in the observatory that we'll be able to see over the lunch break. And he has been involved in fundraising activities to enable that to come to fruition. James is committed to public outreach in science in general, as well as astronomy in particular. He has appeared from time to time on BBC Radio Essex. He was the UK representative at the Space Camp for Education in Huntsville, Alabama. And he's here this morning to tell us a little bit about the local astronomical society.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, thank you for all coming today. It's been a great opportunity for our society to host today, and we've been very excited, and especially see so many of you here today. Now, I do appreciate I am the final talk before lunch, so I'm fully aware of that. I promise I won't overrun it, even though I do like the sound of my own voice. So, we are the North Essex Astronomical Society, and outreach is very much at the heart of everything we believe in. And basically, our mission statement is to be the friendly astronomical society, and I'd like to think we achieve that quite well. Hopefully today I'll give you a bit of an insight about what we do and the things we do within our community. But for example, we're here at Chelmsford High School, which is where I teach, but the Astronomical Society has been instrumental in helping me bring about the changes I've wanted here. The observatory that you'll be able to see at lunchtime, they helped provide me with a telescope for it, which is obviously quite important for astronomy. And they also helped me with outreach events here and opening up the observatory. We had a speaker here, and we had stargazing. Without this society, it would have been much more difficult. And astronomy is something that, unless you've got a little bit of knowledge about, can be very difficult and very scary to get into. And then we try and break down those boundaries. So, a little bit about our history. We first started off as the Braintree Astronomical Society ages ago, back in 1980. I'm afraid to say well before I was born. Not well before, but a little bit before I was born. And we started off as quite a small society. So then it was about 10 members who would meet informally, and then they formed the society. And they realised they wanted to grow. And over 30 years or so, our numbers have progressed, and we regularly, year on year, get over 100 members renewing. But we also lose a few members, but we gain some, and we always stay above 100 members, which is good, but obviously we still want to grow and we still want to improve. Back in 2000, we realised that our demographic was no longer Braintree. Anyone knows the area, it's a fairly small town not far from here. And we had people from Canvey up to Colchester, Saffron Walden. Everyone wanted to be a member of the society, and it was a very wide range. So we decided to change our name to the North Essex Astronomical Society in 2000. Now, a little bit about our membership. Shameless plug, please join. So we have a wide range of skills and knowledge, and hopefully I'll show you some pictures at the end as well that some of our members have taken, and one in particular which I will probably mention several times, and I can already see the members sort of like sighing as I mention him. But one member of ours called Matthew Jenkins started doing imaging about a year ago. And I would say he's probably easily one of our best imagers now in society, and he would just ask lots and lots of questions from lots of different people in the society, and everyone would feed in and give him information, and from that he built and got better. And that's something we find to be the heart of our society, is that we, like I said, we're the friendly astronomical society. We want to talk to each other, we want to help each other, and we've got a wide range of skills to be able to do that. For example, our previous chairman, David Warrington, is now the, I can never remember his title. Is he the director of the Scottish Dark Skies Observatory? And when he took over, it was in a right state, and he's now got that fully functioning, and it's magnificent. But yeah, so it gives you an idea of sort of where our members go. So we have public lectures once a month, which I'll go into a bit of detail in a minute, but everyone's welcome to those, but obviously we do discount those for our members. Our annual subscription fees, very reasonable, £25 a year, although we're currently reviewing that because we want to make it even more accessible to more people. So we're looking at breaking down our membership structure even more, and we should have some information on that by September. We want to be able to have different rates for concessions, students and so on. So that will be changing hopefully shortly. We have an observatory, which I'll go into in a bit detail. Not the observatory here at the school, we've actually got our own dark sky site, as dark as you can get in Essex. Our own site where you can do some observing and lots of equipment there, which I'll talk about later. We have a monthly Pulsar e-magazine. It's not nearly as in-depth as the BAA journal, but we do try. And so that's a good read, and it's not particularly long, so you can flick through it in a lunch break, which I quite enjoy. I've mentioned that. We do observing sessions and workshops. So we have Nick Shamanik, which I'll mention in a minute as well. We've had him come in and do workshops for our members. We've run free sessions for our members as well. And in fact, here at the school, we had Andy Green with his inflatable planetarium do a free show for our members. We try and put as much back into our membership as possible. We appreciate that we would not exist as a society without our members, and so we try and reward that as much as possible. Oh, and curry nights. Let's not forget about the curry nights, because they're a great night out. Although we went for a Turkish the other night, which is a bit different. We weren't too sure about that, but we explored new lands and we enjoyed it. We do often meet up. We go for curry nights. We go down the pub. We do things that are family friendly as well. We do try and address all of our members. So this is our observatory. It's the Monday Saya Observatory, and it's located in the middle of a field just outside of Wakescolne, which is fairly near to Colchester, but it's no street lights or anything like that around. And it's quite a nice photo because it doesn't show off the cow pats occasionally we get in the field as well, because it is an active farm as well. I will go into the history of the observatory in a second as well. But that has a meeting room in it, it has kitchenette, it has toilet facilities, and obviously we have the dome area as well. So it's a really nice meeting space, and we have members down there every Thursday doing observing, and there's a few of them sitting at the back here today. There's normally about between 7 to 10 members consistently there every Thursday, and obviously those are different members at different times who feel like going, and sometimes they're well into the early hours of the morning. So the equipment that we've got a C11 there, which is mounted in the dome. Has this got? Oh yeah, it's mounted in the dome there, and we have that actually operational by computers as well, so you can obviously do your observing remotely into the slightly warmer social area. We've got an outside pier where we can mount the William optics, and we've got a 16-inch go-to Dobsonian, which is magnificent but incredibly heavy, and carting that in and out of the observatory to use it is very difficult, but it is a magnificent bit of kit to have. And then we've got our lunt, which is outside today for you to be able to observe the sun. So we are very keen in buying as much equipment as we need. Every year we go to Starfest and we try and spend a bit of money, because I like spending money, especially when it's not mine. That's even better. And so we often ask our membership, what is it we need, what is it we want, and we go out and we get it. We're driven by the members. If they tell us what they want, that's what we get. So our monthly talks. We have, is that okay? Is that okay? Sorry. Is that okay? Yeah. We have a range of speakers, and if we're very unfortunate, we have me speaking. I'm the backup, so there's one of me there speaking about the physics of a lunar base. But we've had Nick Shamanik come in to do a workshop with us. That was only in February this year, and he taught us how to process images in a bit more detail. I've got to admit, I got lost very quickly. I tried to make notes so I could send them out to the membership and go, hey guys, if in case you've forgotten, this is this and this. But he's just too good. So we'll get him in again and again and again. Hopefully all the members will improve over time with that. We've had Gary Orca in. We've had a range of speakers talking about Gaia, talking about, we've had guys from E2V, obviously being local. So we do try and do a range of topics, and we post all those on our website. And I think, is it £3 for members? £3? No, £3 for non-members, £2 for members. Sorry, you can tell I don't deal with the money. I just spend it. So they're very reasonable, and you get free tea and coffee. So it's a nice evening, and those are on the third Wednesday of every month. We also give opportunities for our own members to talk as well. A lot of our members have a great depth of knowledge. One of our guys makes models, Terry, and he makes models for the I4IS, he makes them for the BIS, and everyone that sees his models, any professional organisation that sees his models, want him to make them a model. And so he's given us talks on how to make them. He's told us about the ones he's got. He's gone into details about how he's got the plans. He gets all the schematics and he scales back from the schematics and makes a scale model. They are magnificent, and if you ever come to one of our Starfest conventions, which I'll talk about later, he often has them on show. We also have as well, to replace our monthly talks, to try and make them a little bit more engaging and exciting as well, we have a barbecue every summer, and we also have a quiz every Christmas time as well. So again, we try and engage with the members. So our outreach, like I said, this massive part of what we believe in is getting that message of astronomy out there. I don't know if you've ever spoken to any child from any age range about space, they love it. Everyone loves it. And the problem is, by the time they get to secondary school sometimes, they lose that passion. And we don't want that to happen. And we try and engage that, and we try and foster that, and we try and make sure that continues all the way into adulthood. I'm sure lots of us in this room really loved it at one point and may have lost it at some point and then got it back again when we were older. And we want that just to continue onwards. And so we engage with the primaries, we engage with the secondaries, and this is just a list of some of the schools that we've worked with. We have a waiting list that goes 3 years in advance sometimes of schools that want to book with us, and there's some that we just physically can't do, all being volunteers. You know, we try and do 2 a month, but with a limited number of volunteers who can actively do it, it is difficult. So if anyone would like to volunteer, we'd love to have you in the team. So yeah, please come and see us. But we have Terry, this is our model maker here. And of course, being a model maker, he made a scale model of the solar system, which is magnificent. The kids love that. And so we get them outside and we shine a light and we can say how dim it is further away from the sun. So we get a lot of interaction going there, so they love that. Now a couple of the other outreaches we do, so as well as doing the 2 primaries or secondaries a month, every month we also go down to the Notley Discovery Centre. It's a great dark sky site, well, fairly dark down the road, apart from when the race course is open. And then it looks like the apocalypse. I'm not joking. And so it's a great site there, and we've been there for a number of years now. And I know a lot of my students at this school, when they're doing their astronomy coursework, I often say to them, go down there, ask questions, get engaged. And the wonder that people see, I'm sure we all remember the first time we saw Jupiter down at a telescope, and the first time we see someone seeing that is just amazing, and it really brings a smile to our faces. But that's at Notley Discovery Centre, totally free, apart from the parking. That's not our fault, sorry. It is every month, and in the summer months we do solar gazing instead during the day, because obviously we don't want to be out till midnight, although we do, but I'm sure the public don't. And then we also have Burton Reservoir. Now, obviously, I've included a very nice picture there of Sir David Attenborough. Yeah, he's David Attenborough. I always get David and Richard confused, which is really embarrassing. But that is David Attenborough. David Attenborough officially opened the pipeline for the Burton Reservoir. Burton Reservoir is a great site where actually they pump water back and forth from the Norfolk Broads with a massive pipeline project underneath. I'm just going to move this mic a little bit higher. That's better. Is that better? Yeah. A massive pipeline project underneath the ground so they can control water levels. Being part of Burton Reservoir, we go down there every month. We do stargazing, we do talks down there as well. They invited us along to the special opening where we were VIP guests. We got to have a meal there, a couple of us, and we got to meet Sir David Attenborough, which was an amazing experience. We did try and get him to have a look at our solar scope, but he had to go, which was a shame. I would have loved a picture of that. But they do charge, but that's in conjunction with the Essex Wildlife Trust. So all the funds that are raised from that, and it is a voluntary contribution, it's a recommended contribution, but it is voluntary. All the proceeds go back to Burton Reservoir. And that is a superb site. It really is, especially if you're out there past 1 o'clock in the morning when all the street lights go off. It really does become a fantastic dark site. And there's a lot of exciting things happening with us there. They've recently just inherited a observatory, very similar to the one we've got out there, one of the pulsar domes, and a Meade LX200. So we're just working with them to get a pier mounted in that on the ground, and the observatory over the top, and they've got grand plans to expand their astronomy offering over the next few years. and they want to be partnership with the North Essex Astronomical Society, which is another great thing for our society. Expands our reach, expands the opportunities that we get to spend with people exploring astronomy. Right. So, another shameless plug, I do apologise. So, Starfest. Starfest is our convention that we run every year. It was originally done in memory of Les Sayer. Les Sayer is one of the names that the observatory was named after. He was the reason we've got an observatory. He bought the observatory site after the previous owner died, and it's on a farmland with a house. And he became our president. He heard our call for help. I don't think it was in the early. When was it? I think it was in the 90s or something. We asked for a site where we could go and observe. And Les and Val, who's our patron of the society, heard our call for help and said, actually, we've got an observatory. Why don't you guys use it? And we adopted that as our home. And very kindly, they still allow us access to it. Unfortunately, Les passed away a number of years ago now. But we still use the site, and we haven't replaced our president. As far as we're concerned, that was our president. And in honour of him, we started up Starfest, which is a memorial talk for him, in honour of him. And we've had one pretty much every year. We had a year's rest when we struggled to get speakers, but we've had a number of speakers on those days. Ignore the prices there. We are looking at changing those prices, especially after seeing the number of you here today and the amazing price it was today. But we have inflatable planetariums on that day, which you can go and observe in. We have solar gazing on like today. We have a number of traders. In fact, the gym behind us is full of traders. We had about 12 last year, I think. So there's lots of stuff to be doing on that day as well. So, shameless plug, it is on the 29th of October this year, which is a Saturday as well. So the speakers we've got David Warrington, who is the director of the Scottish Dark Skies Observatory. We have Andy Green, who runs the planetarium, but he's obviously heavily involved in astronomy. He actually goes out to Iceland, what seems like on a monthly basis at the moment, to do Northern Light tours. So we think his talk's going to be at Northern Lights, but he's going to confirm with us later. We've got Professor Carl Murray, which I'm sure some of you have heard about. He's worked on Cassini for a number of years. Very fortunate to go see one of his talks recently. He was brilliant. He's agreed to talk for us as well. We've got John Davis for the the Initiative for Interstellar Studies. He's coming to talk to us about the Hubble that never was. And we've got Mike Barrett, who works as a sort of astronomy journalist as well. He's going to come in and talk about the last shuttle mission. Those are the 5 confirmed speakers that we've got so far. Other upcoming events that we've got coming this year, we've got the transit of Mercury, obviously, which you've all heard about. We're going to be down at Notley Discovery Centre. We're going to have members down there all day for anyone to come along for free, like we said, to come and observe. If you do want to come free and you don't want to pay for parking, Tesco's is just across the road. Park there and walk underneath the subway. Handy hint there, that's what I do. Okay. Like I said, I like spending other people's money, not mine. Also, we've got solar gazing on the 7th of May down at Notley. And 11th of June. I think we take a break in August because I think we need one at that point. And in Abberton we do it the week after, so we've got the 14th of May and the 18th of June. These are often run by the same volunteers every time. So some people in our society do end up giving multiple nights up a month to our society, and without them we just wouldn't be able to run. And I do thank them a lot, but again, I'd just like to say how grateful I am for the members that are here today that also get involved with that. Without them, we just wouldn't be able to function. So I just want to finish up with a couple of images from our members. And again, a lot of these people, just over a year ago, wouldn't have had a lot at all. Wouldn't have had no astronomy knowledge at all, sorry. So this is Matthew Jenkins, who I mentioned earlier. Oh, thank you. As you can see there, this image here, I think it took him like 9 hours of processing. But he knew nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. And with working with the society, researching himself, buying the right kit and researching that as well, he's been able to take images like this. We've also got Harvey Scoot, which I'm going to talk about again in a minute because he's recently appeared in Astronomy Now and Sky at Night. This is an image of his moon. I do love the moon. So for me, I just had to put this image in because it's a lovely image. This is another one from Matthew Jenkins as well. So again, this is the guy who's got very little experience, and these are the images he started to produce. I think that was one of his first images actually that he produced professionally. This is an image that you may have recognised if you read Astronomy Now or The Sky at Night, the recent one. This is Harvey Scoot's image that has made it in Picture of the Week, I believe it was, or Picture of the Month it was, which again is another sort of feather to our cap. We love it when our members sort of get out there and get involved in promoting us and themselves. This one is from Paul Blakesley, who's at the back there, and this is I think this was one of your first attempts, wasn't it, Paul? Yes, this is one of his first imaging attempts, and I want to put it in there just to show sort of the range of stuff you can get. And this is Paul when he sort of just got a new setup and he wanted to try out astrophotography, something a lot of us are just starting to get into as well. And this is one of the first images he took. And obviously you can see the Horsehead Nebula there, and this is another one from Matthew Jenkins, and again this is one of his early ones. I couldn't find any of his latest ones, but if these early ones were this good, imagine what the latest ones are. Now there's just one other person I want to mention before I go. Sorry, this has gone much quicker than I thought, which I'm sure you're glad about. But I told you earlier that our observatory was called the Monday Sawyer Observatory, and the Monday comes from Charles Monday, who was born in Norfolk in 1915, and he worked at the Woolwich Arsenal and actually studied for chemistry in the evening. Now, he was really interested in astronomy, but unfortunately the Second World War broke out and he became a navigator during that time. It was not too much later in life that he was able to get involved with astronomy, and actually started working with the British Astronomical Association. And he joined that in 1952, but didn't get really heavily involved until about the 1980s, where he actually became the photoelectric coordinator for the BAA. And he started working in their comet section particularly, and then he was preparing for the Halley Comet coming in 1986, and he actually coordinated with NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab and the Charles University in Prague to get things set up so they could do some successful observations during that time. Now unfortunately he passed away in 1985, so he never actually made it to see the comet passing by in 86, but the work he'd done and the preparation he'd done allowed the BAA to do successful observations during that time. So I just wanted to finish with that because that's quite a poignant part. So he had a valuable contribution to the BAA, but without him and without Les and Val, we wouldn't have the society we'd have today. We wouldn't have the observatory, because it was actually Charles Monday that built the observatory in that site. And if Les and Val hadn't offered it to our society, we'd still be a great band of people, but we wouldn't have all the stuff we have now. We are a flourishing society, we're a successful society, and we want to get bigger, and we want to contribute more to the field of astronomy. And I'll just leave you with our website, which you can pick up on a business card at the front desk there. Our Twitter, my personal Twitter, and thank you.